Hey everyone, it's A Roberts, and if you've been around the channel for any length of time, you've probably figured out that I'm a killer main, and so I thought it'd be fun to do a tier list where I rank the killers based on how much fun I find them to play. Not necessarily how powerful they are, but how much fun they are to play. So let's get into it, shall we? All right, so here we go. So Trapper is, I don't know, he's always kind of my baseline, right? I'm gonna stick him in B and I'm gonna tell you why. I find him fun to play, but kind of basic. You know, he's your standard, I mean, he was the original killer, right? He's the one you load into when you play the tutorial, you play as Trapper. You know, his special ability is not that hard to learn, but it can be tricky if you don't know where to put the traps. And if you don't know where to put the traps, then he can become very quickly just an M1 killer. So he's kind of basic, he's kind of straightforward. It can be tricky to know where to put the traps at first, but that feeling of trapping someone is pretty satisfying when it happens. So I do like playing as Trapper, but I'm going to put him as B as kind of your, yeah, he's good. Not the most fun, definitely not the least fun. He's a solid B. There you go. Wraith, I really like. I'm going to put him up in A because I just find him a little more interesting to play. I find his cloaking, you know, getting that speed burst, cloaking, you know, I find that a lot of fun. I really enjoy sneaking up on survivors and scaring the junk out of them. That's always fun. And so anytime you can pull that off is really great. And I just, yeah, I really enjoy him. I've always had a good time playing Wraith. He, I think, was actually, outside of the tutorial, he was the first killer I ever played. Pretty sure I got a 2K, which, you know, for first time out, I felt pretty good about that. Maybe it was a 1K. Either way, I still felt good about it because I had no idea what I was doing, but it was fun. And I've enjoyed playing with him ever since. So yeah. There you go. Hillbilly. Hillbilly is a D for me. And the reason why is I just don't find the chainsaw killers all that interesting. It's something about me. If that playstyle appeals to you, absolutely great. That's perfectly fine. For me, I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy just the kind of the shtick of the one hit down with revving up the chainsaw, but then it being kind of hard to control. And I don't know why that doesn't appeal to me. I find it a little bit boring. I'm not that great with it, which might be why I find it boring, but yeah, I'm going to put him in D for now. Now, caveat that with, I haven't really played a lot of Hillbilly, and I certainly haven't played enough to get at all decent with him. And so it might be that as I learn how to, you know, zip around the map and all that, that I might put him up a tier or two. But for now, he's in D. I find the whole thing boring. And again, if he's one of your favorite killers, all power to you. That's great. I mean no offense by it, but I do not find him all that interesting, so he's in D tier. Okay, Nurse, I'm putting up in A tier with Wraith. I have a lot of fun playing as Nurse. She's obviously very, very powerful, and when you get used to her ability, blinking around, she's a whole lot of fun to play. You can pull off some really amazing plays with her, and whether on purpose or on accident, which, you know, half of mine are on accident, and I pretend like they're on purpose, right? But she's a lot of fun to play, and you feel really good when you land a good blink and a good hit. My problem with her, and the reason why she's not an S tier, is I can't play her a whole ton back to back. Like, I can play her here and there, but I can't play a lot of trials back to back just because when she gets fatigued, it's so disorienting to me. The motion, the movement, the uncontrolled, like I know it's a way to balance her and I'm fully on board with that. It's just, I can't play a ton of her back to back because it just kind of like gives me, it doesn't really make me motion sick, but it's kind of the same thing. So all that to say, I really like Nurse, but she's not my favorite, so she's not S tier. She's A tier. Myers. Myers is a tricky one for me because when you do really well with him, especially when you run his 3 perks and you get to make good use of them, he can be a lot of fun to play. Otherwise, if the team is doing really well against you, it kind of stinks to play him. Not very fun. And so I kind of feel like I'm going to put him in C because, I don't know, he's definitely not the strongest killer. In fact, I think some would consider him the weakest killer of the whole roster. But like I said, when you get all his perks to go well for you and you play his ability well, he can be a lot of fun to play. But unless that happens, he's either kind of basic or he can be really boring if they're just beating up on you and you're not doing well. That can be real tough. So yeah, I'm going to put him in C. I feel comfortable with him there. Yeah, there we go. All right, Hag. Hag is, I'm a little bit conflicted about her as well. Kind of like Myers. When you do really well with her, she can be a lot of fun. When you don't do well with her or you go against a team that knows how to counter her well, just like Myers, she can be real rough. She's a slower killer. Once if they know how to avoid her traps, she becomes very basic at that point. And I'm not judging them based on their perks because you can unlock their perks on any killer, right? But I'm going to factor in perks maybe a little bit because that does kind of add to the funness of the killer sometimes. And I feel like her perks are very, very powerful and very, very fun when they go well. But again, a lot of times when I play Hag, it seems like if I run into a team of survivors that know what they're doing, they see that I'm Hag and they immediately start looking for hexes and cleansing those things very fast. And so an efficient team that knows how to counter her and look for hexes and cleanse them, it's real tough. So I'm going to put her as C as well because, like I said, she can be real fun, but she can also be really not fun. So I'm going to put her in C. I maybe could make the argument that she could be B, but for now, we're going to leave her in C. All right, Doctor. I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit this one because before I played Doctor, I hated going against Doctor. Absolutely hated. He's my least favorite killer to go against. And so I avoided playing Doctor because of that. I didn't want to play Doctor, but I think I was preparing for a tier list video or something like that. And so I had to play Doctor. And so I gave it a go. I'm like, okay, I can do it once, right? I love playing Doctor. I think he's a ton of fun to play. He's not very strong. He's not weak, but he's not overly strong either. Or maybe I'm just bad with him. I don't know. But I really enjoy playing Doctor. He's a lot of fun to play. And so I'm going to put him in A tier. He's not the most fun, so I'm leaving the S tier for like the really, really fun ones that I find to play. But he's A tier to me. I have a lot of fun playing Doctor. Hate going against him. Hate playing him as Survivor. I feel bad when I play him as Killer because I feel like people shouldn't like going against him. Let me know in the comments if you do enjoy going against him. I'd love to hear from you as to why, because I hate it, but I love playing him. So he's A tier for me as far as fun. Huntress. Huntress is an immediate S tier. I love playing Huntress. When I first got the game and I found out what Huntress does, I was in love, right? She's a massive ton of fun to play. A little bit tricky at first, but once you get used to it, landing hatchets, one of the best feelings in the game. It doesn't even have to be a super good throw, just landing hatchets at all. But when you land a really good one, so good. But that's not even the best part in my opinion. I just flippin' love her lullaby. I love her lullaby. It is terrifyingly creepy. And when I'm playing as her, it is music to my ears. I love playing against her too. That's not what this tier list is about. But as far as playing her, I think she's S tier in my opinion. And I think a lot of people agree. But if you don't, and that's perfectly fine. You can let me know that. That's totally cool. You're entitled to your opinion, but she's S tier to me. And I love playing Huntress. I can't play enough Huntress. I need to play more actually, but I've been too focused on leveling up other killers, but she's one of my favorites by far, leaps and bounds. So she's definitely S tier. If there was a double S tier on this list, which I mean, I could make it that way, but if there was a double S tier, I would put her double S because she is by far one of my favorite killers. There we go. All right, Bubba, if you followed what I said about Hillbilly, you probably know that I'm gonna put him in D tier. I don't find him that interesting to play. Again, it's just the chainsaw, the one-hit down shtick. That might be your game, and that's perfectly fine. It is not mine. I don't enjoy it. There's other one-hit down tricks that I enjoy. His, I don't, for some reason. I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me. I've also put in a ton of hours into Bubba. He's probably, of the top 3 killers that I've played, he's in that top 3. Because when I first got the game, I bought the DLC for Bubba because I wanted to unlock barbecue and chili, right? So I played a lot of Bubba to get there, but then I figured out that I could make a blood point build around him to be able to level up my other killers. So I began playing a lot more of him to earn blood points, more blood points to level up my other killers. So I played a ton of Bubba early on, and I just don't find him that interesting to play. And every once in a while, I do play him and I somewhat enjoy it, but for the most part, I just find him one of the more boring killers to play. Again, if that is your play style, that's awesome. It's not mine. I don't enjoy it. And so he's D tier for me. There you go. Freddy is going to be another D tier for me. I don't get the appeal. When I go against a Freddy, I'm like, okay. When I have to play Freddy, I'm like, okay. I'm not thrilled either way. Like, for whatever reason, he's not interesting to me. I don't know. If you main Freddy, let me know, what do you love about him? Because I'd love to hear it. I probably don't know how to play him well. I'll admit that. I need to spend more time on him. I'll admit that. But the time I have spent on him, just kind of, it just is. I don't know. So I'm putting him in D tier as well. Yeah, if you're a Freddy main, you're welcome to change my mind. Please do. But for now, he's in D tier. Okay, so Pig. Pig is my second S tier. She is not as strong as the other killers that I'm going to put in S tier, but she is a ton of fun to me. She just checks a lot of the boxes that I enjoy about this game. For one, just the different ways you can play her, right? You can play her real sneaky You can focus on the head traps. You can play her all sorts of ways. I really, really, really enjoy just going in as Pig and deciding, how do I want to play her today? And then going forth and having fun. To me, when I play her, I'm not playing to be competitive usually. I'm just playing to enjoy the game at that point. But her lunge, her sneak attacks, the roar that she lets out, the fact that you can literally make survivors mess their pants, it is awesome. I love playing Pig. I love going against Pig, especially love playing Pig. And it's just a lot of fun. So she's S tier to me. Clown. Clown, I don't know if this is going to surprise anyone, but I find him a lot of fun to play. Not S tier fun, but A tier fun. He is a lot of fun to play to me. And there's this weird thing. I honestly don't think I've ever played against a clown, but then again, I play a lot more killer than I do survivor. But then I also don't believe people really enjoy going against clown. Like if you do, let me know, because what happens to me when I play clown, I get the most survivors disconnecting from the game when I play as clown than any other killer. I'd be willing to bet if you totaled up all the disconnects I've had as playing as clown, it would probably total up to more than all the other disconnects I've had playing as other killers combined. Pretty sure. It's got to be close. Because anytime I play clown, I get a lot of people to DC. That's really weird. I guess people just really don't like going against him. But I like playing him. I find him fun. Everything from his laugh to his cackle to the flipping of his blade. He's a lot of fun. His power isn't overwhelming. It's not super duper interesting, but it's somewhat interesting. When you land a bottle on Survivor, that can be a lot of fun. I enjoy playing as clown. When you play well, it feels good. You're usually playing against a team of 2 or 3 because the others disconnect. So there's also that advantage. I'm kidding. I don't really like it when survivors disconnect, but I do like playing clown. So he's A tier. All right, Spirit. Spirit is one that I haven't put a ton of time into. I've really enjoyed the time that I have put in with her, but I haven't put in enough time to truly master her or get very good at her. I don't know, maybe I'm better than I give myself credit for, but I haven't gotten very good with her yet. So I'm putting her in B for now, but I fully expect to put her higher later on because I do enjoy playing as her. And I think once I get better with her, I'm going to enjoy playing with her a lot more. But for now, she's in B tier because I haven't played enough to truly make up my mind. So there you go. Legion. I've played a lot of Legion. For some reason, Legion really appealed to me early on. I do enjoy the M1 killers, and I like being like quick low, being able to vault pallets, being able to chase survivors and not having them be able to, do some of the normal things to outrun you. With the rework, his chase music is awesome. Their chase music, because it's more than one of them. I really enjoy Legion. They're not super strong, so sometimes I do get beat up on by a good survivor team. I feel like Legion's a solid B. I enjoy Legion enough to put him in B. Yeah, every once in a while I have a Legion itch that I really enjoy playing Legion for. So yeah, there you go, B. All right, Plague. Plague is my S tier. If you watch the channel at all, you're probably fully aware that I'm a Plague main. I love Plague. I think what I love about playing Plague, one of the things I really enjoy about this game is being able to put players in a bad choice situation. Like making a risk-reward choice, right? And I think this game does a good job of making a lot of not really like blatantly good or bad decisions, but kind of like, hey, you could go this way, you could go this way. There's pros and cons to both. And I feel like Plague, her whole special power is built around putting survivors in a bad choice situation, a risk-reward situation. But in reality, both of them are bad choices, right? When she hits you with her purge, you have a choice then. Do you remain sick and then eventually become exposed in a one-hit down? Or do you go cleanse and then turn her into an overpowered ranged attacker? And I love that. I love that about Plague. And one of the reasons why I love it is because survivors are all different and they all make different decisions. So you never know. You don't go into the trial knowing exactly how it's going to play out as Plague, because you may go in and you get a bunch of survivors sick and none of them cleanse. They just all become exposed and you get a lot of easy one-hit downs. Or you may go in against another team, you get them sick, and they're cleansing all over the place. And then you become an overpowered ranged attacker. So it's a lot of fun because you get a lot of variations. Sometimes you get a mix of both. You get some survivors cleansing all the time and some just staying exposed. So then you get your ranged attack and you get to have one-hit downs with it. So it's a lot of fun playing as Plague, in my opinion. I think she's a little bit trickier to play. You have to do a lot of kind of methodical setup with her throughout the trial. There's like different phases of the trial with her, it seems like. And so I find that interesting. I find her a little more mentally engaging to play. And so I love playing as Plague. I also find that not a lot of survivors know what to do against her because I don't think a lot of people play her. And because of that, you do run into some survivors who have no idea what to do. And that can sometimes be a little fun as well, to watch survivors struggle against you. And then there's other survivors who know exactly what to do. And then it's always interesting to see what they'll do. And so I really enjoy playing as Plague. So she's S tier to me, which should not shock anyone who's been around for a very long time. So Ghostface. Ghostface is a B to me. I do kind of like Legion. I really have times where I enjoy Ghostface, but I don't find him so fun that I want to put him in A or S. There's other killers I want to play more than him most of the time. But I do enjoy Ghostface. I enjoy being sneaky, crouching, leaning around corners, all of that. I enjoy him. I think he's a solid killer. He's fun to play, but there's others that I find more fun to play. So he's in a solid B for me. There you go. Demo is an A because, for one, I love Stranger Things. I do very much enjoy Stranger Things. And so I have a bit of a Stranger Things bias, I'll admit. But also, I think he's one of the best well-rounded killers. He's a strong M1 killer, and his portals are fun to use. And he's just a lot of fun. He's not overpowered. He's not underpowered. He's just right. And I love playing as Demo. So yeah, he's a solid A for me. Oni. All right. Oni was one that I didn't play for a very long time because, quite honestly, I was confused is the wrong word, but I was knowing what his power was. I was less confident in being able to pull it off early on. I don't know why, but I just looked at him and I'm like, I'm not going to be good with him. And so I kind of delayed, I procrastinated on playing as Oni. And then again, I probably was preparing for a tier list video or doing a daily ritual or something like that. And I had to play Oni. And once I did, I understand why people love playing Oni and why he's a popular killer, because he's a lot of fun to play. I'm still not even very good with him, but he's a lot of fun. Being able to rush around the map and smack people with that big, I don't even know what it's called, that big mallet thing, and being able to, track people through the little blood orbs that they're leaving behind once you've injured them, and anything they do, they're leaving behind these blood orbs, so you know where they're going, and then you be able to gobble them all up and then rush again. It's like, he's a lot of fun. And you just feel big and intimidating when you play him. So I think he is S tier to me. I really love playing as Oni. There you go. Deathslinger. Deathslinger is an A, which, I don't know, might surprise some people. I don't think a lot of people really play Deathslinger, but I have a lot of fun with him. I find him very unique, different from the other killers because of his ranged attack. And I don't know, I like kind of the Old West Tombstone-esque vibe he's giving off. And yeah, I think he's a lot of fun to play. Not the most fun, but I do enjoy playing Deathslinger quite a bit. So he's an A. All right, Pyramid Head. I'm going to fully admit that my ranking on this one is solely based on the fact that I am not good with him yet. He's going to have to be a C for me. And it is entirely because I am not good with him. I feel like if I was good with him, I would put him much higher. But because I am absolute trash with him, I've got to put him in C for right now. Once I get better with him, and I've put in a little bit of time with him to try to get better and just struggle with Pyramid Head for some reason. And there's going to be someone who's like, he's easy. And maybe, but for some reason, his powers don't compute with my brain the way that some of the others do. So I am not good with him, and because of that, I don't have a ton of fun with him. Once I get better with him, I'm sure he will move up to B or A tiers. I don't think he'll be an S for me. I think it's most likely that he will move up once I get better with him. So I'll just log some more time with him. Maybe we'll do another one of these in a year from now, and I'm sure at that point he'll be higher. But for now, he's C. Yeah, there you go. All right, Blight. Blight is a lot of fun to play. I am also not very good with him, but I feel like I still have fun with him when I play as Blight. And so I'm going to put him in B for now, but he'd be another one that I probably expect to move up as I get better with him. He's very strong. Or let's put it this way. I can tell why he would be very strong. He's not very strong when I play him, but that's because I just am not very good with him yet. But once I get good with him, he's probably going to be an A at least. So I think he's a fun killer to play, even not being great with him. So yeah. If you haven't played Blight yet, just go play him. It's a ton of fun to run around the map and bounce off stuff. And sound like an absolute monster. He's good. Twins. Twins is also going to be a B. I don't know what it is. I tend to gravitate towards killers that I feel like not a lot of people play. It's sort of maybe a little bit of a rebellious thing in me. I don't know why, but it's like I want to do the thing that nobody else is doing, even if there's a reason no one else is doing it. But for whatever reason, I feel like I tend to gravitate towards some of the killers that nobody else plays. The Twins would be one of those. I have not put a lot of time in with the Twins and am not yet good with, but I could definitely see getting better with them and moving them up a tier or two. I still have fun with them. Running around as Victor, it's just fun. It's just fun. Jumping on people as Victor, fun. So I'm going to put them in B tier for now. I could absolutely see myself investing more time with them and then moving up to A tier because, yeah, I think they're a better killer than most people give them credit for. So, yeah. I also love going against Twins, namely because it never happens. All right, Trickster. Trickster is a tough one for me because I think I'm gonna put him B. When I do really well as Trickster, he can be an A. But when I do really bad as Trickster, I feel like he's a C. So I'm gonna balance him out as a B. I'm tempted to move him down one, but I think I'm gonna leave him as B because I can have a lot of fun with him. I can also be very bored playing him. So I don't know. I could go back and forth either way, but I think a fair ranking for him is a B because I have fun with him from time to time, but there's others that I'd like to play more. So yeah, I think B's fair. All right, Nemesis. Nemesis is, I would say of the killers I've put the most time in with, it's Bubba, Plague, and Nemesis. I love Nemesis. Not as much as the S tier killers, but I would put him as an A tier for me. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. It's what brought me into the game, the Resident Evil chapter, and I just like playing as Nemesis. Just the fact that he sounds big as he's walking, you're just thumping around. He's got kind of a mix of attacks, basically an M1 killer with a mild ranged attack, and the zombies are, mostly useless, but they do make for some fun moments, like when you trap a survivor where one way the zombie's coming and then the other way you're coming and the survivor has to decide between you or the zombie. It can make for some fun moments. I just really enjoy Nemesis. I think they really captured making you feel absolutely monstrously powerful without making him OP. I think he's a balanced, well-rounded character. He's not overly strong. He's not overly weak. I feel like he's very well-rounded and I enjoy playing Nemesis a lot. So I've put a lot of time in with him. All right, Pinhead. Pinhead is sort of like Doctor. I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit. I really love playing as Pinhead. He's an A for me. I absolutely despise going against Pinhead, but I love playing as him. I think he's got some of the best animations in the game. He's got voice lines that are just sick. They're awesome. And he's a lot of fun to play. His special ability doesn't super interest me, but he is a lot of fun to play because of his animations and voice lines and everything. Just everything that's gone into his character design makes it a different experience when you play him as opposed to some of the other killers. And so I have a ton of fun playing as him. So he's A tier. I don't play him a lot because I hate going against him and I don't want to do that to people. But when I do, I have a lot of fun with him. So he's A tier. All right. Artist is a sad one for me because I absolutely loved when they announced the artist. I loved the design. I loved the aesthetic. I loved what I thought she was going to be. But then once I started playing her, I don't enjoy playing as her. I really don't enjoy playing against her. And I don't enjoy playing as her. I actually am of the opinion that she's a little bit overpowered. It's still not interesting. I don't know why. I don't know. Her ability does not appeal to me very much at all. And she's not one of the ones I'm bad with. Like, I'm actually pretty good with Artist, I feel like. And if I'm not good with Artist, then that really does show that she's overpowered because I do very well with Artist. But all that to say that I just don't, her special ability is just not all that interesting to me. And I'm bored when I play her. I really love everything from the noises she makes to the design, the way she has the ink appendages for hands and feet and the way that she makes that weird bird noise. And I think even she's supposedly has an ink tongue, and there's just all this design detail that went into her that is just wonderful and amazing. And I think she's the right amount of creepy and weird, and her lore is one of the most tragic ones, I think, of any of the killers. And it's just a lot went into her that I really, really like. But then when it comes to the gameplay, I don't enjoy playing as her very much at all. I probably would say I enjoy playing her more than the D tier. So she's going to go in C tier for me, which is actually really, really sad to me because I wanted to like her so much because I liked everything else about her. I just don't like playing as her or playing against her. That's a different tier list, but either way, she's got to be C tier for me. So, man, I feel like she could have been so much better, but oh well. Maybe they'll change her and rework her and make her better, but she's C tier for me. I don't find her fun to play. Onryo. Onryo is going to be an A in terms of fun. I love playing as Onryo. She is not at all competitive. If you care about competitiveness, do not play Onryo at that moment. But if you're just looking to have fun, she's a ton of fun. One, I think she's one of the most terrifying killers in the game, so it's fun to scare survivors with her. They nailed her. Just the whole aesthetic, everything is wonderful. Just like I said about Pinhead, her animations are some of the best in the game, in my opinion, and they really nailed it with a lot of things with her. And so she's a lot of fun to play. Not very strong, like I said, but a lot of fun to play. So I'm going to put her in A tier. There you go. All right. Last but not least, the new killer, the Dredge. Now, at the time I'm recording this, he's not out yet. However, I believe by the time I will publish this video, he will be out. So I am basing my opinion on the PTB alone. So we'll see what they change. Might improve his ranking, or I might want to rank him down depending on what they change. But for now, I find him a lot of fun to play. Ironically, I think he's a lot like Onryo in terms of his special ability, which is weird because they're back-to-back killers. So I really love their original killer designs. I think he is one of their best as far as just how creepy he he looks and acts, just the voices in the background as you're playing him, all of it is just wonderful. Most of his animations are really cool. He's just very unique to me, and he's a unique experience to play. And I love being able to teleport between lockers. I love just the difference in during normal daylight, I guess, or nighttime, whatever it is in the game. He moves kind of slow between lockers, but then when he's in nightfall, you can zip between lockers pretty fast. I love that you can hear what's going on around you, so you can kind of zip between lockers and listen to what survivors are doing, so you can kind of figure out where they are by using sound. I really think he's a fun killer to play. I don't yet know. I've only been able to play 2 trials with him, so I don't yet know how strong he is, but I really enjoy playing as him. And so he's going to be A tier for me for now, and we'll see how he moves. I don't think he's ever going to move up to S tier is my guess. Maybe can move it to B tier once I get more used to him, and I might get bored. I don't know, but for now he's in A tier, and I had a lot of fun with him on the PTB, and I think he could be not probably the strongest killer out there, but decently strong. So I think he's a lot of fun to play. So I'll put him in A for now. All right, so there is my tier list, and I want to check something really quick. Funny story. I filmed this video last night for the first time. And when I say filmed, that's actually incorrect because I forgot to hit record. I've done it before where I start filming and then realize that I'm not actually recording, but I've never done it before, I don't think, where I've recorded an entire video and never hit record and never noticed it. So it was bad. And so I'm really interested to see how I ranked them last night as compared to right now. So let's check. Took a picture of last night's rankings because I was like, I'm not going to try to re-record it in the same night. It was way too late. All right. So S tier was all the same. A tier was exactly the same. B tier was almost the same, and I'll tell you where it was different. C tier was almost the same, and D tier was exactly the same. So the only one I ranked differently tonight was Myers. I had him in B tier last night, and I moved him down to C tier tonight, and I had a feeling that's what I was doing. I was torn between B tier and C tier. I ended up putting him C tonight, just because when you don't do well with him, he can be so rough. But so yeah, that makes me feel pretty solid about my choices tonight then. Again, this is my opinion based on how much fun I find them to play. You may completely disagree with me based on your preferences on how to play the game, your play styles, etc. This is one of the most wonderful things about doing tier lists like this, is being able to engage with you all, hear how you think differently from me. I love it. So let me know down in the comments, where do you agree with me? Where do you disagree with me? Who are your favorite killers? Who are your least favorite killers? Let me know. I love chatting with you down there. I try to read every single one of them, and I try to respond to as many as I possibly can. With that, thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you putting up with all my ramblings. If you liked the video, would you hit that like button to let me know? And if you enjoy my content and you'd like to see more of it and haven't already hit subscribe, would you consider doing so? It would make my night. Here are 2 more videos that I think you might like from my channel. And so go ahead, click on them, watch them, let me know what you think. And as always, you've been awesome. Stay awesome. And we'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.